What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a few different things. Got to get some stuff done today. Finally going to be bringing the Mishimoto Coolant reservoir or coolant tank, whatever you want to call it, the nice aluminum tank up to the powder coater to get powder coated to match everything else in the engine bay. Should look pretty darn awesome. Probably won't get it back till next week or the end of next week, but it is what it is. I'm finally getting that up to get it taken care of. Before doing that, I got to fix a little mistake that I made when I was working on the fuel system in my truck, finishing up, cutting that final fuel line in the engine bay with the grinder. I might have accidentally, just ever so slightly, touched my oil pressure sensor with the cutoff wheel. So it's still working, but I nicked the wires pretty good, so I figure I might as well go through and replace them, so that's what I'm doing. I kind of want to do that before I go on a 80-mile drive. It would probably be fine, but I figure I might as well get it done. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I think I'm going to get started on the oil pressure sensor. Let me go grab that, show you the part number on it. There we go. We got the Mishimoto tank down there. And then, of course, ordered from Riff Raff, just because they have almost everything you need for these trucks. Here's the part number on the oil pressure sensor. Comes as a nice kit. Got the harness there, and then it's got a little, I'm not sure if you can see it, a little connector right down there. I thought about soldering it, but I think that connector is probably going to do just fine. So I'm going to go pop the hood real quick, get to work on that, and I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Alright, so here you go. Here's a quick look at the custom fuel system I was talking about. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. The system seems to be running really well. So here's the sensor I nicked. It's probably not, doesn't look as bad on camera, but I'm probably about halfway through the wires there. So I'm just going to take it off, snip it about part way, and then we got the replacement sensor right here, the replacement pigtail right here, and that should be good to go. So I'm going to do what hurts a little bit and cut off the pigtail and then go from there. Alright, just like that. Got it all buttoned up. I added a little extra wire onto it because originally the sensor was pretty crimped down. Maybe now you'll be able to see what I was, not very well. But the sensor was pretty crimped down, so I added up a little bit of extra wire onto it. That way to give it a nice even loop so it's not just cranked over to the side. And it should all be good to go. Super easy, really high quality heat shrink provided with it, some heavy duty glue inside of it, and then I decided to add a little dielectric grease inside the heat shrink as well. So all should be good to go. She should be good. For those of you wondering, I'm replacing this coolant tank with the Mishimoto aluminum one, and then I'm going to have it powder coated the same color as these pipes. Mainly, my main purpose of doing that is I think it'll look a lot better than this. I don't have any issues with my factory tank yet. It hasn't cracked yet. I'm sure at some point in its life it would. A lot of people ask me, what are the benefits of replacing your plastic coolant tank with the aluminum Mishimoto one? To be honest, there's no real benefits performance-wise on why you would replace it. The main reason most people replace it is whenever these plastic ones end up cracking, people replace them with another plastic one, and for whatever reason, a lot of the new production plastic ones, even the OEM ones, don't seem to be nearly as high of quality as these and aren't as tough, and end up just cracking over and over and over again. Some people don't have that issue, but it seems pretty common that a lot of people have issues with the replacement ones cracking. So one of the reasons to go with the aluminum one is it won't crack. You don't have to worry about putting too much weight on it when you're working on the engine bay. Just a nice, solid, sturdy thing that you never have to think about again. So as far as performance gains goes, you're not going to see any, but that's kind of the main reason people replace them with the aluminum ones, is mainly just to get rid of the issue of them cracking down the road. Alright guys, back. As you can probably tell, it is a different day, a little bit later on in the week. Like I said earlier, that day was kind of a whole bunch of running around doing different things. Ended up driving up to the powder coater, dropped the coolant reservoir off there. So that should be getting done this week, which means I'll probably be picking up this next weekend. And then it'll be going on the truck really soon. I'm pretty darn excited to see how that thing turns out. Because I know on the intercooler piping, the powder coat looked awesome. I think having it on that bigger surface, it's going to look even cooler. Get a little more of the color out of it. So I think it should look pretty sweet. Other than that, I was running around helping my brother pick up some lumber. He doesn't have a truck, so I try to help him out when I can. Let the old girl stretch her legs a little bit too. To be honest, it was really nice to get out and go for a good long drive. Probably put close to 100 miles on the truck that day. So it was a good day of driving, which is where I like to be, is behind the wheel. Like I mentioned in another video, my brother has a whole woodworking channel. If you guys want to check it out, it's still super small, but he's doing some fun stuff on it, learning the works of YouTube. By no means am I an expert, so it's not like I'm teaching him much, but we're both kind of having our own fun time building our own channels. If you're into woodworking stuff, go check it out. If you like it, you can subscribe. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Having some of my subscribers go his way would make a big difference on his channel. So if you're interested in that stuff, go check it out. I know this video wasn't all that exciting, not a whole lot going on. It's just kind of the tedious things that I don't often show you guys behind the works. There's a lot of stuff that goes on of organizing things and getting parts in and running around and doing things to get all this stuff going on. And so this was kind of one of those videos of just showing that. Finally got my whole workstation cleaned up after all the fuel line stuff was going down. I was thinking about going to start working on that engine cover that I've been telling you guys about, the custom engine cover I want to make. But it looks like we got the rain blowing in. It was a beautiful weekend, but it looks like it's going to be raining all week. So not ideal weather to be out working in the driveway. I need a shop. I really need a shop. Make a lot of this stuff nicer to do. But it is what it is. While I was cleaning up, I was kind of putting back together my electrical toolbox that I got out to work on that sensor. I figured I'd show you guys this. I kind of showed you guys it before. I showed it in videos before, but I've got a lot of people that joined the channel since then, so I figured I'd give my little tip of the day, and what I would recommend. This isn't something I came up with. I got this idea from another channel, actually, a guy called Wrangler Star. If you haven't heard his name, I'd be kind of surprised because he is a big channel. But I got the idea from him, and I've kind of adopted it, and I'm really glad I did. So what you guys are sitting on right now, actually, is my electrical toolbox. Now, this toolbox is something that if I have any electrical job that I need to do, if I grab this box, it should have almost everything I need to do any electrical job I need to do. It's kind of one of those things that maybe somebody needs help working on a project, or maybe maybe you need to go do a project remotely somewhere else, not in your garage. And it's kind of a pain to go through and try to figure out what tools you need to grab, digging through tools, taking them out. And so I've kind of set up this toolbox in a way that for 99% of the electrical work I ever need to do, especially 12-volt work, I don't do much housing electrical. I basically don't do any housing electrical. For 12-volt electrical, this is the box that I can grab and go and have my own tools with me, because we all know we all like using our own tools, and it's something that I have almost everything I need. So I'll give you a quick look at it, kind of explain what I'm talking about. But some of you guys might like this idea. Some of you guys may already do this. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the trades out there that have similar setups to this, and probably better setups than this. But this is something I've done that I liked, and I figured you guys might like to see, and provide a little extra content for this video for some of you guys that may be interested. Alright, so here you guys go. I just got a standard Husky toolbox. Why did I choose Husky? Mainly because my uncle was clearing out his shop and he was going to throw this away because it had a broken latch. I was like, no, I could use that. I'll make it work. And overall, this toolbox is actually almost perfect size. Carries just about everything I need. And it's got like a nice upper storage compartment up here and a main compartment. So like the upper storage compartment, you guys can see I got all my different electrical fittings and I got the tape, miscellaneous tools and testers. different fittings to connect things, splice, just kind of the oddball stuff that you don't need a lot of, or you usually don't need a lot of. You can get by without it. Got different bulbs and stuff in there, different switches. This is just kind of all the different electrical connections and connectors and stuff that you don't want to just throw in a toolbox, and so this upper compartment works pretty good for that. And then down below, I have all the real main stuff. Of course, gotta have the electrical tester. Then I got I think it's 16 gauge, I believe it's 16 gauge, just power and ground wire, just little 100-foot spools or 200-foot spools. Just nice to have. Obviously, those are the two main ones you usually use. Got a good wire stripper. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't my favorite one. I can't remember the name of the other company that makes it. This works really well. It's just kind of big and bulky. Honestly, it works well. I just don't exactly like how big it is. But nice wire stripper. These things are a lifesaver when you're stripping a bunch of wire. Just makes it a lot quicker. So I ended up actually picking these up a little while back, and I absolutely love them. They're kind of one of those tools that just, as soon as you put it in your hand, you think like, dang, this is a quality tool. And for something so simple, it's just so nice to have a good quality cutter and good quality crimper instead of trying to work around and like fish wires in between the handles of like these things and then squeeze them, or using things like this. It is really, really nice having a good quality crimper. Invest in nice tools. Buy once, cry once, and you'll be happy you did. But I'm not going to go through everything in this toolbox. This is just kind of the main general stuff. Obviously, got a few more connectors and larger things that won't fit up top. I have a whole assortment of different heat shrinks and larger connectors. Like I got all my heat shrink splice connectors there. Or not, a different assortment of eyelet connectors, insulated, non-insulated, more heat shrink, rubber grommets, more heat shrink, more heat shrink. The reason I have so many heat shrinks is because for a while I didn't keep all this stuff in one place, and when I was in college, I'd be in college, and I'm working on a project at my own college house, and I needed heat shrink, and I didn't have it there. It was back here. So it's just kind of, now I have it all. I bought a lot of pretty cheap heat shrink, thinking heat shrink is heat shrink, it's all the same. I was wrong. I'll see if I can find the link. For this heat shrink that I got. This stuff is super, super nice. It's way heavier duty, and it's got a glue on the inside, so that way when you heat it up and it shrinks down, it actually glues itself in place onto the wires. That way, down the road, you don't have the chance of it slipping or spinning or pulling off or whatever. This stuff is way, way nicer than any of the other heat shrink I've used. I think it's 3M stuff that it's using. I could be wrong, but I think it's a guy, based on how it's put together, I think it's a guy that buys all the heat shrinks and puts it together in kits for people to use. But yeah, very, very nice stuff. Alrighty, so like I said, I'm not going to go through the whole setup of everything I have in here, but I figured as I was putting it away, some people might have use in seeing this. I know a lot of people who watch my channel, or a chunk of the people who watch my channel, are younger guys just getting into learning to working on their own stuff. And maybe some older guys would learn from this as well. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything, but this is what I've done, and it's turned out really, really handy for me just to be able to grab one toolbox for all my electrical stuff, and it's good to go. So if you're interested in this stuff, I'm going to try to link the toolbox down below and maybe some of the main stuff I use in there for you guys to check out. Some stuff I've bought and I wasn't happy with it, pretty low quality stuff. Some thought I've bought, super glad I got it. It's higher quality stuff. So I won't try to find everything in here, but I'll try to get the main things of like what I would include in here. Then you guys can add or subtract whatever you want if you're interested in making a setup like this. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of money put into this whole toolbox. and it served me pretty darn well.
So there you guys go. I know this wasn't a real exciting video, but this is the back end of the channel, the part that you guys don't always get to see. Just kind of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. A lot of tedious, time-consuming stuff, a lot of cleaning up after projects, and a lot of stuff getting organized to actually get content ready to produce for you guys every single weekend. I'll be completely honest, it's pretty hard doing a whole new project or producing more content every single weekend, especially working a full-time job. Don't have a lot of time during the week to work on things. So I think to close out this video, I'll leave you guys with the note that just scheduled an appointment for the truck. I'm going to be getting some work done on it that I think a lot of you guys will like, something I've been meaning and planning to do for quite a while, and the time's finally come to do it. It's going to hurt the wallet a little bit, but it should make the truck look really, really good. I won't tell you guys any more than that. If you guys have any guesses of what it could be, leave them down below, and maybe I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. That video might be coming out this weekend. We'll see on timing how things go. But either way, it's getting done this Friday. You guys will be seeing it pretty darn soon. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit subscribe. Don't miss out on what's going down. To all my subscribers that have been around, thank you very much. As always, if you guys like the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I should be able to get back to all of you guys that do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.